So here we are on Wednesday night. It's our Paranormal Hour. Jonathan Fost, as always, is with us. Very good evening to you, Jonathan.
Very good evening.
And who are your friends tonight?
Well, we are with Sean, Boon, and I knew I'd do that. Sorry, Paul Cissell. You know, never put me under pressure, but I've got to remember people's names. I'll instantly forget.
So Sean is the mentalist. Can you tell me first of all what a mentalist is?
Well, I use a variety of means, such as psychology, the abuse of statistics, magic, misdirection, to create the illusion of a sixth sense.
Okay, that's gone some way to explaining it. So you're saying you're not, it's not like, what's the word? Is it paranormal that you're doing, or are you giving the impression that it's paranormal?
I'm giving the impression it's certainly not normal,
but it's not.
But it's not paranormal. I'm not as psychic as the person sat next to me right now.
Okay, the person sat next to you is a medium, Paul Cissell. Good evening to you, Paul.
Good evening, Andy.
So you are a medium, so you do stuff psychically with otherworldly means.
Yeah, what a medium is, what my job is in the first instance, I'm somebody who has the ability to be able to communicate with people who have died and potentially moved into a spirit realm.
Okay, so we've got two experts in the studio. One of the reasons for this is because the relaunch of the Conan Doyle Collection, its new home in the Central Library in Portsmouth. And of course, Conan Doyle, you might not know, was very much into the Spiritualist movement, wasn't he?
He was, yes.
So you're both involved in this. Tell us a bit about the exhibition and what's going on there.
Well, this is a week-long of events that's run by Portsmouth City Council, covering various different areas of his work and his life, and we are just kind of involved in the paranormal and the supernatural side of his work, which is the two events that are going on tomorrow.
Okay, and that's all they're actually happening at the Central Library, are they?
Our event is actually happening at the Square Tower in Old Portsmouth.
Right, okay, so if you want to find out more about that, we've got links to everything that's going on your websites, on ours, just in one handy place at wave105.com/Andy. Now, because of that, we're going to be carrying out not one, but two experiments tonight, and we have been asking you all day today to collect, if you have any, at the back of your drawers or cupboards, a watch that maybe hasn't worked for a few years, or a clock that hasn't worked for a few years. I know Lynn has just been on Facebook, says she's got an old mantelpiece clock on standby. I've actually got one that my other half has got next to the radio at home as well, which is a very old sort of mantelpiece clock, actually, which has not worked for a long time. Mark is getting involved tonight. Sean is getting involved tonight as well. Sarah Presley says she's got three. She's got phones and camcorders. Not quite sure how that's going to work. Sarah,
we'll try the batteries. We'll
give that a go. And somebody else has asked as well, are digital watches or digital clocks okay? Now, is that going to work in our experiment tonight?
What I would ask, if possible, to remove the batteries, and we'll work with the energy source, the batteries, and then put those in the device, and we'll see what we can do there.
So if you've got a digital watch or a digital clock, take the batteries out and keep them out until we say to put them back in.
I'll give full instructions on what I need you all to do.
Okay, we'll come to that in a second. At the same time, we're going to be carrying out another different experiment, so this is going to get very confusing, but we'll explain more in just a second. It's Wave 105. Wave 105 on the evening show. Andy Jackson here, and every Wednesday it's our Paranormal Hour, and three guests in the studio with me tonight. Jonathan Fost is here, Paul Cissell, who is a medium, and Sean Boon, who is a mentalist. And Sean is the one who is going to be carrying out, or helping to carry out, our first experiment tonight, which is something that we've been asking you to do all through the course of the day, which is getting hold of a clock that has stopped working, or a watch that has stopped working. I know there's lots of people on Facebook who have done just that. So now is the time to put that to you. Sean, can you explain exactly what's going to happen here for us?
Okay, I'm talking more to your listeners now rather than yourself, Andy. Okay, guys, what I need you to do, with your broken watch or your broken clock, if it is a clockwork clock or watch, I'd like you to take it out of the drawer, put it next to your radio if it's a clock. If it is a watch, I want you to hold it tightly in your hand and give it a good wind up. Do the same with the clock. Give it a good wind up. Keep it next to the radio. If we have got some digital devices out there, as mentioned earlier, remove the batteries, hold the batteries tight in your hand, and just sort of roll them in your hand a bit. What I'd like you to do is to imagine a ball of energy travelling down through your forehead, down your chest, across your arm, into your fingertips, almost creating that fuzzy, buzzing, vibrating feeling in the palm of your hand. And I just want you to start feeling that now. This may work immediately for some of you. It might not work straight away. For some of you, it might not work until we get off the air, but we really do want to hear about it when it does work. So I just want you to think and concentrate and shout the words either out loud or in your mind, but I want you to really mean it. Shake those fists and shout, work! Really shout, work! 1, 2, 3, work! And concentrate on that watch. Keep holding it tight, and if you can, drop Andy an email or give us a call and let us know that it worked for you.
Okay, this is the number you need to call. It's 01489 481052. You can email Andy at wave105.com. Adele and Hometown Glory on Wave 105 in our Paranormal Hour, with the first of our paranormal type experiments going on tonight. Sean Boon, who is a mentalist, who is with us tonight, and we're attempting to fix various clocks and watches that people all over the south have gathered together and are holding in their hands. Is it worth repeating the instructions tonight, Sean?
Yeah, sure.
Is it an ongoing thing?
In case anyone missed it, or if it's not quite working for them just yet, I want you to take your clock, give it a good wind. Take your watch, give it a good wind up if it is an analog one. Hold it nice and tight in your hand with the face down. If it's a digital device, take the batteries out and hold the batteries in your hand and give them a good sort of rub together, nice and tight. Really, I want you to absolutely believe that this will work and will it to work. You know, even to the point that your hand starts shaking and you're throwing your fists in the air and shouting, work! So really, all together now, 1, 2, 3, work! And send us an email or drop us a line and let us know how it worked for you.
Let us know how you're getting on. It's Andy at wave105.com, or you can phone into the show on 01489 481052. In the studio with us tonight as well, we've got Paul Cissell, who is a medium, and you're involved in this Arthur Conan Doyle exhibition, aren't you? And his sort of connection with the world of spiritualism.
That's correct, yes. We've got 2 events going on tomorrow, both at the Square Tower in Old Portsmouth. The first one being starting at 2 o'clock, and that's with myself and Dr. Kieran O'Keefe, who probably the viewers might know more from being the parapsychologist on Most Haunted. And what we are going to do is create a balanced viewpoint of his work around his visits to mediums, seances, spiritualism.
It was a very big thing, particularly in those times, wasn't it?
Absolutely,
Although it's kind of making a comeback now, isn't it? With
it started. I mean, mediumship itself, it's always been there. It's never kind of died away. But obviously, over probably the last sort of 10 years or so, especially, with the relaxed laws in television, the shows with Colin Fry, those kind of things, Sally Morgan, people are getting more and more interested in it again. Because
he was a firm believer, wasn't he? He was very much, very much somebody
absolutely.
who was...
He was, he promoted spiritualism. And he really did sing its praise and was really fighting in its corner the whole time.
So if you want to find out more about that, we do have the links on the website, wave105.com/Andy. That's where you can find out more about our guest this evening as well. So we're still hoping for a result for the clocks and watches. That is one of the paranormal experiments that we're carrying out tonight. We have another one, which we'll reveal in just a second as well. Katy Perry, Firework on Wave 105 at very nearly 9:30. It's Andy Jackson here on the Paranormal Hour. Jonathan Fost here, as always. We've got medium Paul Cissell in the studio with us, and mentalist Sean Boon, and we're trying to carry out an experiment tonight with trying to get clocks and watches going. Karen is on the line. Where are you phoning from, Karen?
I'm calling from Dorchester.
Okay, you're in Dorchester now. Then, did you dig out a clock? Did you dig out a watch, Karen?
I did. I have a German half-strike clock that I brought down with me from London about 8 years ago, and it's never worked. And literally a couple of minutes before the experiment started, I thought, I'll just grab it and take it over by the radio. So I did, and I was doing all the closing the fist, work, and nothing happened. And I thought, oh well, and just put it back on the shelf. Anyway, I popped upstairs to the sitting room. It came back down, and as I was coming into the kitchen, the clock was not only ticking, but it was striking 1 o'clock, which was when it stopped, and it's still ticking now.
Well, I would say that's quite a good start,
that's
isn't it?
Fantastic. Brilliant stuff. You might want to go and grab something else that doesn't work and give that a try as well. It'll save you a fortune on the repairers.
Well, I was going to say, slightly freaked out by it, though, I have to say. I walked in and I heard it striking, and I just thought, oh!
That's brilliant. It's brilliant, though. Was this a family heirloom or something passed down, did you say?
No, it's not. It is an old clock. As I said, it's a German half strike, but I've had it probably for about 20 years. And as I say, when I moved down from London, I brought it with me because aesthetically it looks lovely, but it's never worked.
Well, I think it's probably thanking you now for saving it from a trip to the bin.
Yes, and it sounds lovely as well now. It's ticking.
So pleased for you.
Is it actually striking at the moment?
No, it was strike because it's gone past the hour now. It's when I walked into the room, it was 1 o'clock, because that's obviously when the clock stopped all those years ago. So I think it was probably about 4 minutes to when I did the experiment, popped upstairs, popped back down, and as I say, as I walked into the room, it was actually striking.
Now, how does this make you feel, Karen? Because I think you described yourself as feeling a little bit freaked out, or words to that effect. So, I mean, what do you think is going on here, Karen?
Well, my first thought was maybe because I've moved it from the shelf that it was on, it might have made it. But then again, it had been moved from London, so it was being bounded about in the back of the removal van, and it didn't make it go. And then I thought, well, if I can do that, can you imagine what else I can do?
Maybe it's you with the gift and not me, eh?
Yeah, I could be on as Mystic Kaz, couldn't I?
I like the sound of that, Mystic Kaz. Phoning from Dorchester, Kaz, thank you very much for coming on and sharing with us this evening. And let us know if anything else starts surprising you tonight.
My pleasure.
Thanks for that, Kaz. Bye-bye. So there we go. That's one experiment which I think we can definitely do as a success at the moment. And as I said, we're going to be carrying out 2 tandem experiments. So I'm just going to go back to Sean Boon for a second, who is a mentalist, and there is another experiment that we're going to be carrying out at the same time. Now we're on a roll.
Okay then. I want you to go and grab some objects for me. If you've got your clock or your watch, I'd like you to use a watch, a coin, and a pen. Now I want you to put them down in front of you in any order you like. Now, here are the instructions.
Give people just a second to go and to go and get that. In fact, we'll take a very short break. We'll do that. So they've got to find a watch, a coin, and a pen.
And lay them out in front of you in any order.
So a watch, a coin, and a pen. Put them out in front of you in any order. And does it matter whether the watch is working? Does it matter what kind of pen it is? What kind of coin?
Not at all. Use the broken watch, because you never know, by the end of the experiment it might start working as well.
Kill 2 birds with 1 stone. So this is experiment number 2. We need a watch, a coin, and a pen. Go and grab those. We'll take a quick break, and then we'll be back and tell you exactly what to do with them in just a second. It's Wave 105.
Don't miss the Homewood Interior.
Erasure, and sometimes on Wave 105 in our Paranormal Hour. Just to remind you, my guest tonight, Jonathan Fost, who is very quiet tonight, actually, Jonathan.
I said nothing.
Sitting here. It's
because I keep forgetting people's names, that's why.
Quietly observing. We've got Paul Cissell, who is a medium, and we've also got Sean Boon, who is a mentalist, and Sean has been in charge of the first experiment that we've done, where we've actually we've had one success with that, haven't we? We've actually had a clock which has started working after many years of not working, and I'd say she was a little bit almost scared, I think.
I'm a bit concerned about what she's thinking of doing with her newfound power.
So, yeah, I mean, the world is now Kaz's oyster. So I'd be interested, Kaz, if anything else has miraculously started happening, do give us a call back and let us know. But that's our first experiment. Second one, where we've asked you 5 minutes ago to go and collect a watch, a coin, and a pen. So what have we got to do with those now, Sean?
Okay. Put them down in front of you in any order you like. So that could be coin, pen, watch, coin, pen, whatever. Okay? I'm going to give you a set of instructions. I want you to switch the pen with whatever is on its left. Now, if there isn't anything on its left, don't do the movement. Okay? So switch the pen with whatever is on its left. Okay? Give you a chance to do that. Great. Now, switch the coin with whatever is on its right. If there is nothing on its right, just ignore that moment. Give you a chance to do that. Switch the watch with whatever is on its left. Give you a chance to do that. Now, place your hand over each item, one at a time. 1, 2, 3. Now, whichever object is on the far left, I want you to remove that entirely. Done. So now you've got 2 objects in front of you. I want you to switch their positions, so swap them with each other. Now put your hand over each object, one at a time. Okay, done. Now eliminate the object that is on the far right. If we've managed to do this correctly, I'd like you to give us a call or drop Andy an email or a message. You should have the coin remaining.
The coin should be remaining. Okay, it'd be interesting to know what is happening with that, and also if you've had any more luck with clocks or watches as well, which have started working. Phone number is 01489 481052. The email address is andy@wave105.com. We have just 20 minutes of our paranormal hour left, and hopefully we'll be getting Jonathan Fost to put some suggestions through as to why these experiments have, or for that matter, have not been working tonight. But so far, it's looking very good. We'll take another call in just a second. It's Coldplay, God Put a Smile Upon Your Face on Wave 105. Right then, very interesting with our second experiment that's just gone on. Duncan's just emailed to say, hello Andy and team. Angie just tried the experiment with her mother's old watch, which hasn't worked for ages. It's now working. So that was the first experiment. So that's 2 clocks that we've actually managed to sort of revive from the dead this evening, which I think is quite a good result. Lynn is talking about the second experiment with the watch and the coin and the pen, and Lynn says, yes, I have the coin left. Success at last. Thank you very much for that. And Duncan says, yes, that worked. I think we see what you did there. So we might be able to get some explanation as to how or why it has worked, or maybe it has not worked in that case. Let me just take some calls as well. Who have we got on this line? Hello?
Hi there. I ended up with the coin.
You ended up with the coin. Okay, is that was that the correct one to be ending up with, Sean?
It was, yes.
It was, yes.
Okay, who are you, by the way?
Debbie.
Okay, Debbie. So you ended up with you followed the instructions, and you ended up, even though you weren't 100% sure what was going on, you ended up with it happening exactly as was predicted. Interesting.
And you did put the objects in any order, yeah?
I did. I started off with the pen, and then the watch, and then the coin.
Fantastic.
So the first move, when you said move whatever it was to the far left, there was nothing to the left of the pen that didn't move, so...
Brilliant. Impressive?
Very interesting. Very, very intriguing, yes.
Brilliant.
Debbie, thanks for calling us. Bye-bye.
Thank you, bye-bye.
Hello, Wave 105.
Hello.
Hello, who's calling?
It's Anne Cobb.
Hello, Anne. What's happening with you tonight?
I'm just ringing up to say that I've just been doing that experiment.
Yes.
And I'm left with the coin.
You're left with the coin,
Fantastic.
which is the correct result. And you didn't put the original items down in any particular order as per instructions.
No, I just put them randomly.
So what do you think's going on, Anne?
I haven't got a clue.
We'll try and explain a little bit later. Thanks for letting us know. All right, bye-bye.
Bye.
Hello, Wave 105. Who's calling?
Oh, it's Claire in Ashurst.
Hello, Claire.
Yep, the coin's remaining.
Brilliant, brilliant news.
So this is the 3 calls we've taken. All 3 have been successful, just purely at random. What do you think's going on there?
I have no idea. Very peculiar.
Very strange indeed. There's all kind of paranormal energy going on this evening. We'll explain more just before 10 o'clock, all right?
Yeah, I hope my husband's clock in his car's working now.
I hope the other thing's working as well.
Thanks for that. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Scissor Sisters, Take Your Mama on Wave 105 at the end of what's been, as we hope always, an interesting hour tonight. So just to remind you, my guest tonight, mentalist Sean Boon, who's helped us carry out a couple of experiments. We've got medium Paul Cissell, who is in the studio with us, and from a scientific perspective, our investigator Jonathan Fost is here. Now, there's been a reason why we've been doing these experiments tonight, hasn't there, Jonathan?
Yeah, shall I just piece together why we're doing?
Yes.
Science, as ever, is always trying to whittle it down so that we can eliminate the really obvious. In fact, to take a Sherlock Holmes quote, once we've eliminated the impossible, what is ever left, no matter how improbable, must be the solution. So what we're doing is trying to get rid of the obvious misreasons, and then what's left gives us a reason to actually do some proper research. And that's why we got the combination of the two. So what we're looking at is what happened in the Victorian period in terms of seances. There was a whole period where seance and spirit photography became really popular at the turn of the century, and that's why Conan Doyle got caught up in the whole thing, because he had a very sad sort of search looking for his son who was killed in the war. And so what we're doing is all recreating some of the less reputable characters that created certain seance illusions. And so that's why we got Paul involved in terms of bringing his knowledge of spiritualism and what goes on in the seance, and then Sean in terms of what could be achieved in illusions. So I don't know if, Paul, you want to talk more about the spiritual side and the seance.
Well, I mean, certainly, we have a live Victorian seance taking place tomorrow evening, which unfortunately is now completely sold out. And I don't want to say too much, but it's really we're just taking the audience back in time to Victorian era, and we're allowing them to experience the same kind of experiences that the Victorian audiences would have experienced at a seance if they would have attended.
So it's a kind of make your own mind up as to what's going on there. And okay, so that's unfortunately the seance itself has sold out. But if you want to find out anything more about the work that Paul does, his link is on my webpage at wave105.com/Andy, as is Sean, who's been carrying out the experiments tonight. And we were going to try and explain in the remaining about 1 minute or so that we have left this evening as to what's been happening tonight. First of all, Jonathan, from a scientific perspective, your theories, please.
Right, the clocks involved, it's all to do with statistics. If we got enough people involved, then a small percentage would gain a result out of pure random logistics. If you look at shaking up a clock that hasn't worked, you wind it up, you move it around, so you're moving watch. If you've got a watch in your hand, you're warming it up, so you're warming the oils that once were all bunged up. And also in terms of batteries, if you remove batteries, put them in your hands to warm them up, then put them back in, most things will have a few moments of re-energization. So that's in terms of statistics. So those processes done enough times for enough people will get the results where you got one or two going, oh, we had remarkable things happening. Which is exactly what we did have tonight. So obviously more people will have found that nothing whatsoever has happened, but there will be one or two where, as we've proved tonight, it did happen. Is that fair to say that it's more of a statistical thing going on there, Sean?
I certainly can't comment on the methods that I use. However, people that are fraudulent in demonstrating apparent psychic phenomena may abuse statistics to gain their results.
I like the way that you've put that. That's good. And what about the second experiment that we carried out, where we got people to put a watch, a coin and a pen down in any order? You then gave them some instructions, and as we've proved with the phone calls and emails we've had tonight, everybody was left with the same item left at the end of the instructions. Is that something that you can explain, Jonathan?
Well, I would attempt. I mean, most people, although they might be amazed by it, surely don't think it was actually any paranormal phenomena occurring. I would just say it's a series of conditional statements, so that if you were asked to take 2 steps north, if you were asked to take 2 steps in any direction, north, south, east, west, and then you were given a whole series of if you went north, now go south 2 steps. If you went east, now go west. Basically, they designed to reset the order. That's what I'd say. But we started off with an initial randomization, and then it's all about the crafting of wording that then makes it appear like something out of the ordinary has occurred.
The key to this is the backwards engineering. You can't really backwards engineer the effect, because, as Jonathan just said, we did start with the objects in a random order, but you were all left with one particular object.
And everybody was left with the same object, which I think, if my memory was right, was the coin, wasn't it?
That's correct.
At the end of it. Interesting. Right, if you want to find out more about the guys on the show tonight, all the links on the website, wave105.com/Andy. Thank you very much for coming in this evening and entertaining us in whatever way it may have turned out that you have entertained us tonight.